Welcome back to another MECH 1000 video. In this video we're going to finish up Chapter 8 by showing you some commands that are somewhat seldom used, but in the interest of being thorough we'll go through all of them. So the first one is splines. So if you expand the draw toolbar, click on the word draw, it drops it down to show some additional drawing tools. And the first two different commands here are types of splines. The first one's spline fit. So if you've wondered throughout the semester, you've been doing various AutoCAD drawings, and if you've thought to yourself, well, all the drawings we've done have straight edges. What do you do if you're drawing or designing something with curves? Well, you would do it with splines. Splines allow you to select various points, and then AutoCAD generates a curve that passes through all of those points. So they're seldom used in our class because they can be kind of tricky to work with to get them to be the exact shape you want. But you just pick a bunch of different points, and then I can even try to close this shape up and hit enter. And yeah, I didn't quite get that tangent at the end, but there I made this sort of amorphous shape just by using a spline. And when I highlight the spline, you can see all of the points. All of these blue grips are the points that I selected that the curve is passing through. So splines are what you would use if you were designing something that that had a lot of curves to it, and trying to kind of smooth out that last. That's still not perfectly. That's pretty good. So yeah, we don't use them a lot, but if you ever do need to draw a curve, that's how you do it. You select the draw toolbar, and you can make a spline that way. Spline CV is similar. You make the spline, but instead of passing through the points that you select, it creates these vertices, these points that the curve is, it begins heading towards that point, and then it begins to kind of curve off towards the next point, and then curves off towards the next one. And if you want to then edit that spline, you can just go back and move these grips to kind of stretch it out. So similar idea, just some different ability to tweak it and change the shape after you've made it. So those are splines. Another thing we can do with a spline or any kind of a polyline is to create a path array. So we've made rectangular arrays and polar arrays, but we haven't made any path arrays yet. So if I draw a circle on the end of this spline that I made, and then I choose to make a path array, I can select the object, the circle, and then I can select the path, the spline, and AutoCAD will generate all of these objects along that path. And I can specify how far apart I want them to be, and AutoCAD will automatically adjust. So I can make them closer together or farther apart. Depending on how I want to make it. Again, this isn't a very commonly used type of array, but just in case you ever need to use it, that's how you do it. The next thing I'm going to show you, we don't use a whole lot in our class, but I can tell you that when I worked as a structural engineer, this is something we used quite a bit, and that is the revision cloud. So in recent years, they've added a rectangular revision cloud option. I'm used to just freehand revision clouds. And so revision clouds are used when a drawing is revised, when some change is made to it, and you want to release a new set of drawings to your contractor or to your fabricator or whoever it is that's going to be reading the drawings in order to um, build or create what's in the drawings. And something changes, you want to call that to their attention. So I selected the freehand revision cloud, and all you need to do is click and hold down the mouse and then circle around what you want to include in the revision cloud. And when you get back to close to where you started, AutoCAD will automatically close that revision cloud for you. So that cloud surrounds these two objects. So maybe there was some sort of change in these two objects, the last two objects on the path array, that I want to bring to the attention of the builder of this thing. I mean, it's not really a thing, it's just a weird little sketch, but that shows you how you can make a freehand cloud, or you can make a rectangular cloud just like you would make a rectangle. And so that might be useful to maybe if there's a paragraph of text in your general notes that has changed, you can put it in that rectangle shape. And you can fiddle around with the arc length. You can make them smaller or larger depending on the scale of the drawing. But like I said, we don't really use it a whole lot in here. I used them quite a bit when I was an engineer, but in this class we really don't do much with revision clouds. We don't revise our drawings. We just complete them and submit them and then move on. But that's revision cloud. And then the last thing I will show you, although again we don't use it a whole lot in our class, is how to draw a point. So the point object, again, is on the draw toolbar, but you've got to expand it out. It's not one of the more commonly used tools, and it's right here, multiple points or point. And as you can see, even on the little preview that shows up here, you might use it in civil drafting to locate points on a contour map. It's not something we use a whole lot in our mostly mechanical drawings, but you just click, and you can probably even barely even see it on my screen, but I did just make a point there. It's just like 1 pixel. So it's hard to see, but you can change the way your points look. For some reason that has never been clear to me, the way you edit the appearance of the points is over here on the Utilities toolbar. So if I pull down from there, I can see Point Style. And if you click on that, it brings up this dialog box. Here it is. And you can choose these different shapes. You can choose a cross, an X, a circle with a point inside of it, just a plain circle, a circle with a cross, a circle with an X, and so on and so forth. You can see all these options. So if I choose a different shape, a different look to my points, now you can see them. Okay. So again, these are things that might be more commonly used in other styles of drafting, like civil, for instance, but we don't really need to use them much at all in our mechanical drafting. And most of the drawings we do in our MECH 1000 class are mechanical. Just do a very few number of architectural and like 1 electrical type drawing the whole semester. So I don't think you'll need to use the point command, but if you ever do, there it is. That's how you do it. So I think that finally brings us to the end of Chapter 8. There's a bunch of commands that, who knows, may be useful to you someday, but probably aren't going to be too useful in the near future. All right, I'll see you in Chapter 9, where hopefully we will have some more useful information.